This program is sponsored by Zakat Kenya. Zakat Kenya, fulfilling an obligation.
Every day, thousands struggle to afford food, education, and basic healthcare. But together, we can change lives through Zakat. Through your Zakat and Sadaqah, we educate children, empower individuals, support businesses, fund healthcare, and provide relief for the most vulnerable in our community. Last year, we helped many, but there's still more to do. With your support, we can reach even more people in need. Your Zakat is their hope. Donate today and be the reason someone smiles tomorrow. Zakat Kenya, fulfilling an obligation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our dear viewers of JamiaTv, welcome to the show, The Spirit of Ramadan. In this, we are going to discuss more about Zakah, and especially you can see the board in front of me, which means we are going to do some calculations. Now, I'm Sheikh Hassan Makoha from Zakat Kenya, from the Department of Education, famously known as a Zakatologist or the Zakat Attack Specialist. So, welcome. And before we embark on our today's calculation, let us remind ourselves on what we discussed in the previous episode or in the previous session. In the previous session, we discussed the calculation step by step on money or step by step on cash, whereby I still remind you again the formula of 5 plus 2 is equal to Zakah. 5 means the categories on which Zakat is due. Either you have gold, silver, cash, animals, farm produce, the treasures, etc. So those are the 5 categories. So if you have one of them, or if you possess one of them, or some of them, or all of them, now you go to the 2 conditions, which are the nisab and the hawl. Now, today's topic or subtopic is going to be on livestock and agricultural produce. So we are going to look at livestock and agricultural produce. In the previous one, we looked at cash, whereby one has to have the x-axis and the y-axis. The x-axis is the hawl, like Muharram, Safar, Rabil Awal, Rabil Thani, up to the Hijjah. And the y-axis is the nisab. So one has to look to be very keen. He has to monitor, is the amount in possession after it reaching the nisab, has it maintained equivalent to or above the nisab after 1 year. So if it's like that, he will be obliged to pay zakah of 2.5%. We look at the end point. We look at the what he has currently. So it has been fluctuating. It has been different at different times. It had different amounts. Now at the end, maybe he has 320,000. Now it will be 320,000 divided by 40, which will be 8,000. That's the first scenario. The second scenario, if at one time it goes below the nisab, now he has to reach the nisab and then start counting a year from when he attained the nisab. So different people have different I call it Zakat anniversary. Zakat anniversary is not you celebrate that you are giving a zakat. It's zakat anniversary is not a celebration, but zakat anniversary is a reminder. Like my zakat anniversary is in Dhul Hijjah, someone is in Ramadan, someone in Shaban, someone is Muharram. Now, livestock. What kind of livestock is zakat due? First, they have to meet 4 conditions. Condition number 1, these animals should be domestic animals that are reared for milk and meat. The other condition, they should be free grazing on most of the time of the year or the entire year. The other one, these animals should reach nisab, and the nisab differ because these animals, we have the cows, stroke the buffaloes or the buffaloes, whatever you want. Then we have the goats and sheep, they are in one category. And then we have the camels. Now someone will ask me, what about the chicken or the doves or the turkey? We come to the condition of milk and meat. So for the chicken, for the doves and other animals, they don't follow here unless they are reared for trade. And if they are ready for trade, stay tuned to see how you calculate zakah on trade. Now, the other one is a lunar year. These animals should be in possession for a whole year. Those are the 4 conditions. The second part of it is, now these animals are different. Do we have a flat rate of nisab to all of them? The answer is a very big no, because the animals are different, so the nisab will also be different. So in Islam, we don't have a flat rate unless it is cash or it is gold and silver. We have a flat rate of 2.5%. But in animals, it will differ. How? Let us start with the goats and sheep. The goats and sheep, we have ranges. So the first one is 40 to 120. 40 to 120, you give out 1 sheep or 1 goat. 1 sheep or 1 goat. Remember, you are giving out zakah to empower someone. So if you are giving out zakah to empower someone, in animals there are 2 conditions. 1, it should be a female animal. Secondly, age is very important. You don't give a younger animal because it may die because it's still under the care of the mother. So you are giving it to empower someone, give something that is old enough. Now, what's the age? The age is, for sheep, it should be 6 months plus and above. For goat is 1 year and above. So the next range will be as from 121 to 300 to 200. Kafwan. 121 to 200. You give out what? 2 goats or 2 sheep. Why? You look at which are many or either of them. Then from 201 to 300, you'll give what? 3. Now, what about if you have 300 and above, 301 plus? There's a very simple formula. For goats, if they are more than 300, it is for every 100 goats, you give one. For example, if you have 500, it will be 5. If you have 700, it will be 7. But remember, the age and the gender. So that is for the goats and sheep. The other thing in animals, you don't give an animal that is sick or it has defects. You give something good. Inna Allah jamilun yuhibbu jamala. So Allah is good and He loves something that is good. So you don't give out an animal just because you want to dispose. You are not giving to dispose. You are giving because it is a way of ibadah, and the ibadah, you do it in the best way possible. Now let us go to the cows and buffaloes. The cows and buffaloes, same applies. It has ranges. The minimum is 30. So 30 to 39. You give out one calf, and it should be 1 year old. Remember the age and the gender. From 40 to 59. From 40 to 59, you will give out one calf, but 2-year-old. A 1-year calf is called, we call it tabia, and then we call a 2-year calf is called musinna. Okay, tabia, it means it's still following the mother, and musinna, now it has grown teeth. So what about if you have 60 to 69 or 60 and above? For cows, it changes from 1-year-old to 2-year-old. That is, for every 30 cows, you give out a 1-year-old. And for every 40, you give, for every 40 cows or buffaloes, you give a 2-year-old. So it changes. For example, you have 70 cows. What will you pay for as zakah? For 70 cows, we have said for every 30, 1-year-old. So for every 30 here, you're going to pay a 1-year-old, and for every 40, you're going to pay a 2-year-old. So you're going to pay 2 calves, but of different ages. One a 2-year-old, and the other one a 1-year-old. So it changes for every 30 cows, 1-year-old, for every 40 cows, 2-year-old. What about 80 or 120 or 150? The formula still remains. Now we go to camels. For camels, again, because animals have ranges, still camels have ranges. We go to the minimum for camels is 5. So 5 to 9, 1 goat. 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24. 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 20. This one, it increases by 1. So 5 to 9, 1 goat. 10 to 14, 2. 15 to 19, 3. 20 to 24, 4. So if you have 24 camels and below, your zakah is for every 5 camels, you give 1 goat or 1 sheep. What about if there are more? If there are more, the formula is as follows. The formula is for every 40 camels, you give out a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, yes, a 2-year-old camel, and for every 50 you give out a 3-year-old calf. A 3-year-old calf. Now, how? We started with goats, then it changes to, because camels take a long time to give birth. It's almost a year, and also it takes time to mature. So there are time you'll give out goats, and the time you will start giving out camels. So for every 40 camels, you give out 2-year-old calf, 2-year-old camel. For every 50, you give a 3-year-old camel. So it changes. For example, you have 200. You can say it's either divide by 40 or divide by 50. If it's by 40, you're going to give out 5 what? 5 2-year-old. Or you're going to give 4 3-year-old. So age is very important and gender is very important. Let us wind up with agricultural produce. Agricultural produce, the crops of the field like maize, beans, rice, millet, sorghum. How do you calculate their zakah? For agricultural produce, their zakah is due when the 2 following conditions are met. 1 is they should be storable, staple food. Storable and staple. Storable staple means this can be stored for a long time, not in the fridge. They can be stored naturally. They can be stored for a long time, like maize, rice, dates, etc. So when you are saying storable, that's what we mean. Staple, is it being used majorly by many people? So we are going to remove onions. If you have onions, you are farming onions, you can't give out zakah unless if you are doing it for trade. Watu wa asali, for honey, for fruits, the mangoes, vegetables, sukuma wiki and others, you can't pay zakah on them because they are not storable and staple. But if you are doing that business, zakat will be on the business, which will be discussed in the subsequent session. So that is number 1. Number 2, nisab. Because nisab is a factor. For agricultural produce, we don't have haul. We don't have rotation of a year, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, watu haqqahu yawma haswadihi, give its due on the day of harvest. So this one we don't look at rotation of a year. You give it when you harvest. Surah number 6 verse 141. So how do you get the nisab? The nisab you calculate, you have to measure. Okay, in good English they say you have to weigh them, because measurement is distance. So you have to weigh them. After you harvesting, you have to weigh them on a scale. And the nisab is as follows. During the Prophet's time, it was 5 ausuk, or let us say 5 bags, and each one containing 60 sa'ah. You know, in the previous days or in the past days, we did not have the kilograms and the grams. We had the swa'a. Swa'a is the 2 palms of an average person. Four of them make 1 swa'a. So this one is called mud. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you weigh them now, it gives you 1 swa'a. That's why in Ramadan, in this Ramadan, at the end of it, you are going to pay Zakatul Fitri, which will be swa'a. That will be discussed later. But I just want you to to know how was it measured. Now we get 5 awsuq, 60 swa'a, and now we change 1 swa'a into kgs. These products or this produce, they are not the same because they have different densities. They will have a different weight. So the weight of millet and the weight of wheat and the weight of maize and rice, they can't be the same. So you have to multiply by the swa'a in kgs. Maybe let us say it is 2.0 kgs of wheat. So it means that the nisab for wheat will be 612 kgs. And wheat is light. So which means maize will have more than this. Rice will have more than this. Whatever it will have. But make sure you get this is the formula. And this one is constant. What varies is the kgs. The kg of wheat, the kg of sorghum, the kg of what. But this one is constant. Now, how much do you pay as zakah? After you weighing, what you will pay as zakah, it will depend on 3 things. 1, was it due to rain? If it was due to rain, it will be 10% of what you have. For example, I am a farmer in Kitale. I have harvested maize and I have 1,000 kgs. So my zakat due, because it is what we are Western, the people from Western, they are blessed by rain. A few people perform farming by irrigation. So if it is due to rain, it is for example, I've harvested 1,000 kgs, it will be 10% of this. Imagine a fraction from what you have harvested. You're going to take 10% of 1,000. Simple mathematics. You're going to have just going to 100 kgs as your zakat. Imagine you have harvested 1,000 or more, but you're only giving 100 as your zakah. What about if it was due to irrigation or you applied effort? It will be half of it, 5%. So 5% of what you have harvested, for example, 1,000, simple mathematics, it will be what? 50 kgs. Now, what about if you combined both? There's a time for rain, and then mvua ikapotea, then you had what? Irrigation. Remember, zakat without mathematics is not zakah. That's why if mathematics ulionea view sasa, you come for us to calculate for you. So rain plus irrigation, it will be half, which is 7.5%. 7.5% of what you have harvested. So that's how you calculate zakah on livestock, and that's how you calculate your zakah on agricultural produce. So stay tuned as we elaborate more, as we teach you in this whole month of Ramadan the concept of zakat calculation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This program is sponsored by Zakat Kenya. Zakat Kenya, fulfilling an obligation.
Every day, thousands struggle to afford food, education, and basic healthcare. But together, we can change lives through zakat. Through your zakat and sadaqah, we educate children, empower individuals, support businesses, fund healthcare, and provide relief for the most vulnerable in our community. Last year, we helped many, but there's still more to do. With your support, we can reach even more people in need. Your zakat is their hope. Donate today and be the reason someone smiles tomorrow. Zakat Kenya, fulfilling an obligation.